It's just how promptly you'd respond. Now you got all of this free time, and if I'm not too busy.
Music has just always been in my life from the very beginning. My parents were full-time musicians and still are touring and performing to this day. And the bulk of their touring was throughout my childhood up into high school. So I was surrounded by Latin folk with jazz influence and living out of the minivan, touring across the country since as long as I can remember. So I was steeped in a musician's life, so not just surrounded by music, but also living the musician life. And yet somehow still I am here wanting to play and wanting to work as a musician. But it was being surrounded like that by music that was so incredibly soulful and so grounded in creating community wherever it went. Wherever my parents went, they really wanted and were always striving for helping people to connect and to think and to feel joy and sadness, feel whatever they needed to feel. But the music was the vehicle for that, for them, and it is for me now as well. So that's how I started, and that's how I also continue to be a musician.
The social media have informed me today's the day you're changing age. Though bitterness tries to take over me, I still write something friendly on your page. Now what I couldn't have expected is just how promptly you'd respond. Now you got all of this free time, and if I'm not too busy, I should call. It's not that I'm not ready, it's not that I don't care, but all that silence taught me that there's some things I don't have to share. Now I don't need anyone to greet me in the morning. I don't need anyone to keep me warm at night. Why would I want to ruin it with talking to the only one who held me at goodbye? Which patriarchal construct taught you that silent treatment is okay? Now when the fear starts taking over you, the bravest thing to do is run away. I won't pretend to be an expert, but something about this is just wrong. I spent so many months so broken down, and now that it's convenient, I should call. It's not that I'm not curious, it's not that I feel scared, but all that distance made me realize maybe love was never there. Now I don't need anyone to greet me in the morning. I don't need anyone to keep me warm at night. Why would I want to ruin it with talking to the only one who held me at goodbye? No, I don't need anyone
Talkin' is the song for all of the people who have been ghosted and don't want to talk to that person, or for all of the people who have been hurt and just don't want to reach out or respond to a toxic person in their life, and let it go, goodbye, 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 and remember that we have strength in ourselves and we don't need those kinds of people. And that was the journey that was the conclusion that Talkin' helped facilitate me to get to. So thank goodness. It really helps to tap into that in moments when you just need some anger, but some like self-love anger of like, no, I don't need you. Ah! That's what Talkin' is for me. Some songs come from an idea like we were talking about earlier, and other songs just come from feeling something so deeply and struggling really hard to put it into words and to be at peace with it. So Palomita came out of a time that I was really hurt, both emotionally but also physically. I had a bunch of health issues and I was living in a new place, and I had gotten a condition of my liver that made it almost impossible to move around. So I was bedbound and heartbroken, and I was just in so much pain and needed to let something out. So that song started with just speaking to this little pigeon, to the Palomita in my window of my woes. And from there, it went to speaking to one of the people who had hurt me and the things that were hurting me. And naming them and facing them like that was what helped me to start healing. And singing that song now, 2 years later, still reminds me that it's just amazing, our ability to heal.
So I'm from Cambridge, Massachusetts. I was born and raised here by Latin musicians. My family's a mix of Puerto Rican, New Mexican, Argentine, Spanish, so a lot of different heritage in there. But I was raised speaking in Spanish and English and playing music in Spanish and English and surrounded by music from all over Spanish and English-speaking worlds. And when I was 20, I moved to Argentina and lived there for a while. And I was very lonely in the beginning, as I imagine any of you who moved to Boston and had never lived here before might have felt. In the beginning, you don't know anybody. And this song is called Palomita, and that means little pigeon in Spanish. And I named it Palomita because at first, the only person or thing that I spoke to were the pigeons that nested in my window in Buenos Aires. And I say that to the pigeon, I say, little pigeon, little gray pigeon, you don't explain to me why I'm here. And these days, I say, little pigeon, little gray pigeon, you don't explain to me why I'm here. The stars don't tell me the stories that they used to of love, war, and peace. And these days I get lost in myself, and words are just a false smile. And from this southern continent, with winter in its womb, and these rains that never stop, I ask you to take away these memories of the mornings and the apples and the light from your window. Palomita. Palomita, palomita gris, no me explicas por qué estoy aquí. Solo miras y echas a volar. Las estrellas no me cuentan más de sus cuentos de amor, guerra y paz. Solo miran desde el más allá. En estos días me pierdo en mí misma. Las palabras, una falsa sonrisa. Y desde el sur del continente, con invierno en el vientre y las lluvias sin parar. tus ojos, tu pelo, el olor de tu cuello, la luz por tu ventana. No sabía que al caminar a tu lado me iba a enamorar, que una sonrisa te puede marear. Las estrellas nos contaron mal nuestra historia, tenía un final, el silencio te puede matar. En estos días me pierdo en mí misma y las palabras son una falsa sonrisa. Y desde el sur del continente, con invierno en el vientre y las lluvias sin parar, llévate las mañanas, llévate las manzanas, tus ojos, tu pelo, el dolor de tu cuello, la luz. Llévate las mañanas, llévate las manzanas, tus ojos, tu pelo, el dolor de tu cuello, la por tu ventana.
I started writing Hurt You 5 years ago. The first verse came then, and the chorus. And then I wrote another verse a year and a half later, and then I finished it a few months ago. So that goes to show that I am still and will always be learning about love and figuring out what that is. It will definitely be a lifelong lesson for me. But it's so fun to look back on through each verse and realize like where I was in my learning at that point and where I am now. And to be able to look back and laugh at yourself, but also take love really seriously, because I think that there's such a culture of romanticizing love and relationships and connection like that. It doesn't just have to be romance, but love and relationships specifically, there's a whole culture of romanticizing it to the point of not thinking about all of the work that goes into it, but also all of the work that you have to put into loving yourself before you can really care about somebody else in a healthy way and receive care from another person in a healthy way. So in this song, I'm hoping that through opposition, through the irony of saying, why don't you let me hurt you just like I let you hurt me? Isn't that what love is supposed to be? That it highlights for all of the people who listen and for myself listening to myself, that is that really what love is supposed to be? Like, I don't think so.
I saw you from across the room. I saw you from across the room. I know that it's been said a million times before, but I saw you from across the room. I spent so many days, spent so many days thinking about that face that I saw from across the room. I never told you the hold you had on my heart. Now you tell me it's too late to even start. Why won't you let me hurt you? don't you hurt me? Why don't you let us hurt each other? Ain't that how love's supposed to be? Oh. I swore I'd never love again. Oh, I swore I'd never love again. You should have heard the laughs from all of my friends when I swore I'd never love again. Oh, maybe I can prove them wrong. Oh, maybe I can prove them wrong. Maybe I'll prove them wrong by writing a love song about swearing not to love again. 'Cause there ain't no point to the hold you had on my heart. I would rather be lonesome and wholesome than torn apart. So you're never gonna hurt me, just like I'll never hurt you. We're never gonna hurt each other. Ain't that what lovers always do? Oh, tell me, does it get better with time?
Better with time.
Oh, tell me, how can you tell when they're lying?
Tell when they're lying.
Oh, tell me, don't you get tired of trying?
Trying.
Oh, tell me, don't you get tired of crying? I am so tired. That's Noah Harrington on the bass. Hurt you, hurt me, hurt each other. Ain't that how love's supposed to be? Hurt you, hurt me, hurt each other. That's Jacob Thompson on the drums. How love's supposed to be. Oh, why won't you let me hurt you? Oh, before just like I'd let you hurt me. Oh, why don't you let us hurt each other? Ain't that how love's supposed to be? Oh, why won't you let me hurt you? Just like I'd let you hurt me. Oh, why don't you let us hurt each other? Ain't that how love's supposed to be? Oh, why won't you let me hurt you? Just like I'd let you hurt me. Why don't you let us hurt each other? Ain't that how love's supposed to be?
I am really excited to just learn. I have so much to learn. It's like a little stressful sometimes, but I'm at peace with it. I mean, there's just like, there's this moment that I'm sure will keep happening in my life where you realize just how much you have to learn. And then you have to figure out how to make the time and put all of the work. And so that's like the moment I'm at right now. It's like I'm getting gigs and I'm getting these wonderful opportunities and people are starting to really believe in my work. And I'm like, really? because I think I have so much practicing to do and like so much to learn, so much more to learn about writing, about playing, about music theory, style, performance, just everything. And not to mention just like everything about living in this world that I am excited and to learn. So I just feel like I'm just beginning. And so it's just so funny to start being treated as a legitimate, serious artist. Although I guess it makes sense. I've been playing for a while now, but it's still so funny because I feel like a child just beginning, and in many ways I am. But I'm just so starting, and there's so much more to discover and so many more ways to grow. And so I'm just excited for all of that. All of the performing, all of the growing, all of the learning, all of it.